Hello and welcome. Hi guys, hope you're all well. All right, today it's all about sales, my absolute favorite topic. So, welcome. I want to say a hearty, warm welcome. and we get to speak about something that is so true to my heart that if you had to wake me up in the middle of the night, I could probably speak for 3 hours straight on this topic. So, sales is my absolute favorite topic. I love sales. And so let's see what we have in store for you today when it comes to sales. Now, because sales can be such a broad topic, we have, as you know, covered a few portions of sales in our previous sessions. And I'm not going to go back into those in depth right now. For a quick overview, let's have a look. That we have chatted about your sales fundamentals and we've also spoken about your sales blueprint. Now, today we're going to speak of all things sales. And why is this so important? Let me tell you. I could probably do a 12-part business program on sales only. I could probably do a daily thing on sales for you for 365 days of the year. That's how important sales is. Can I emphasize it enough? Can I emphasize it more? The importance of sales in your business. Guys, if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. If you have one client, if you have two clients, great, good for you. But where to from here? What happens if that client cancels their contract? What happens if, all your clients disappear and you've got nothing in the sales pipeline? Oof. Then what happens to your business? All right, so your sales is the cornerstone of your business. It's the cornerstone of your everything when it comes to doing business. That's how important sales is. Can I emphasize it even more? I don't think so. All right, so today we're going to chat about more things under the sales umbrella. And what I really want to do for you in this session is to give you some cool tips, give you a plan to walk away with, give you a structure when it comes to your sales thinking, your sales planning, your sales strategy, because I know for a lot of you, this is a scary topic, and I get it. If I wasn't thrown into the sales deep end many moons ago, man, I don't know if I would be floating right now. All right, so thanks to my sales background and my sales history, I really get how scary this can be. But I want to take the scariness out of it for you. I want to make it as easy as possible. I want to say, here you go. Here's a book for you to follow. Follow this and you are going to get success. But there's always a caveat, isn't there? You need to do the work. You need to go and follow the steps. You need to implement. You need to be consistent. You need to go and do it. You need to do the hard graft. If you're prepared to do that, you will see results. It's the same as if you're going to go on a diet. If you don't follow the plan, you're not going to lose the weight. As simple as that. So let's follow the plan. Let's get the sales through the door. So I want to share some very cool sales tips with you to start off with. My first tip, and you might think, that's interesting, is to mine all of your out-of-office messages. So what do I mean by that? When I say mine all of your out-of-office messages, what I mean is you might be sending sales emails to people or just normal emails to whoever, and you get an out of office reply, and the out of office is, I've gone on maternity leave, I've gone on annual leave, I'm on sick leave, I'm out of the office for the day, etc., etc. But where does the sales lie in that? So we know that the cornerstone of sales is relationship building. And the more relationships you have, the better relationships you have, the easier it is to do sales. So let's say you have emailed the decision maker and the decision maker has sent an out of office reply. But in that email is very important contact information for other people that you can contact with regards to supplies or whatever. So now what that decision maker has done is opened up a window into their business saying, yes, other people that you can build relationships with. Isn't it? So now you're going to go and you're going to see, okay, they have referred you to X and Y. They've given X and Y's job titles and their contact details. You can now start forging a relationship with those two key people in the business as well. Now your relationship with them is much stronger, isn't it? Because now it's not just one person you have a relationship with, it's three. You can go and do outreach on LinkedIn, you can connect with them, and you can start building that relationship with more than one person in the business. Okay, the other thing that the out of office message will give you is insight into that particular person. If they've gone on maternity leave, okay, so I can now send you a congratulations on your new bundle of joy. If you've been off sick and I phone you and you're back in the office, are you feeling better? Have you recovered? If you have gone on grieving leave or whatever, vacation, my condolences on the grieving part. Or if you've gone on vacation, do you feel rested? Did you have a good time? Are you ready to do business? All right, so the out of office message, as you can see, becomes quite a vital part of your sales funnel, your sales process, because inadvertently, that particular person is giving you insight into their business, insight into other key people, not just the person that you're currently dealing with. And it's giving you insight into their life, which makes that relationship building so much easier and better to forge, isn't it? All right, the next cool tip I want to share with you is when cold calling, have the prospect's LinkedIn profile open in front of you. All right, that's quite a cool one. So let's say I'm going to phone Susan of, what's a big company? Pick n Pay. I'm going to phone Susan of Pick n Pay because I want to help them with supplies. I want to help source supplies for them because I think I'm great at doing that. So I'm going to open up Susan's LinkedIn profile. I'm going to have it in front of me. I'm going to see where she studied, what she's done, a part of her history. And while I'm on the phone, it's going to have that more of a personal touch. So this is something that's a lot more intangible, if you will, but it's going to come through in your voice. It's so important when we do sales calls that our mind space is right in order for what comes out of our mouth to be right. And if we have that particular prospect's LinkedIn profile in front of us, open in front of us, there's more of a personal connection because now I have a photo of Susan in front of me, and as if we're having this conversation face to face. It's going to come through in the phone call, isn't it? The same thing is, and we'll touch on a little bit later, is when you leave a voicemail message, is to have the LinkedIn profile open so that when you leave the message again, there's more warmth and there's more of that personal touch. So I don't know how many of you are using this kind of tip when you are doing outreach on phone calls. Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know if you are implementing it, A, and B, if you are doing so, what results are you getting from it? Right, my next cool tip is to be quick to disqualify leads. They say that successful people can make a decision in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Decision made, stick with it, and that's it. So the same thing with prospecting. You might have 20 people in your sales funnel, 20 leads that you think, okay, I can at least close 10 of these by the end of the month. But I want you to be subjective looking at these leads. And can you really close 10? Or of the 20, are there really only 3 or 4 that align with your vision and have shown the signs that they are ready to do business with you? Be quick to disqualify leads. Don't hang on to leads that are just been there in the sales pipeline for the last 6 months and doing nothing. And they keep on saying to you, yeah, we'll get back to you, or we're waiting for this contract to come to an end, or we're waiting for the budget to come through. How much longer must they leave you hanging on a string? So be quick to disqualify leads, cut it, move on, and only focus on those that are quality leads that you know that you can convert. All right. And then my next cool tip is to think like a business owner. You know, guys, you're running a business, and I don't care the kind of business that you're running, if it's service-based or product-based, the industry that you're in. I don't care if you're the business owner, the CEO, the founder, the COO, whatever it is that you do in that business, I want you to think like a business owner. And this nugget is a shout out to everyone in business. If you're a receptionist, if you're a sales rep, if you're a virtual assistant, a consultant, a web designer, C-level, you need to think like a business owner. You need to have your mind in that space at all times so that you make the right decisions, that you make decisions that will only be good for the business, that you make sound business decisions, that you don't let things just run with it and then you look again and what you should have cut and stopped 6 months ago is now causing huge disruption in your business, and you should have cut it 6 months ago and you didn't. So I want you to think like a business owner. As a sales rep, as a salesperson, as a sales manager, a sales director, a business owner, a CEO, you need to think like a business person. You need to run your role, your job, as if it's a business. Then you know that you're heading for success, that you're going to make the right decisions, whatever it is that you need to do. All right, so get your mind in the space of thinking like a business owner. Here are a few tips on how to be a successful salesperson. And when I say to be a successful salesperson, it's not just for salespeople. You have selling CEOs, you have business owners that are doing the sales for the business and closing the deals. You have actual salespeople. So this part of our session is really not just for salespeople, but if you speak to someone like myself who is very, very, man, I cannot say to you in my DNA, I love sales, that I see myself ultimately as a salesperson, is I sell. I'm a selling CEO. So what I'm going to share with you now is relevant to everyone because everyone in the business is a salesperson. If you're a receptionist and you are at a gathering, you are a brand ambassador for your business, and so you need to sell because you're going to speak highly of your employers, the rest of the team, and what the business does, isn't it? So everyone in the business is a salesperson. Alrighty, so you need to have a plan. And guys, you probably think that I'm regurgitating information here because if we had to go back and look at the stats, I've probably said in every session so far, we need to have a strategy. You need to have a plan. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you're building your business, if you have marketing that you want to roll out, sales, future for the business, you need to have a strategy. There has to be a strategy in place. And the same for your sales. What strategy do you have in place? So what does your sales outreach look like for the next week, for the next month, for the next 3 months? What results do you want to get? Where do you want to be with the business in 3 months' time? So if you want to increase your client base by 5 clients, what is your sales plan to achieve that? So you need to have a plan. You need to have something that you can wake up in the morning and know, okay, today I'm going to achieve the following things, whether it's 20 outreach emails, and it's 10 outreach phone calls, and it's 20 quality connections on LinkedIn. You need to have a plan. You need to have something to work towards. We need to understand human behavior. And human behavior is so important because it forms such a huge basis of sales, doesn't it? Relationship building. And relationship building is understanding other people. If you pick up nuances in conversation, the body language, the way people say certain things, the things that they're not saying, it's human behavior. If I put out this kind of content, I know based on human behavior, I'm going to get this kind of feedback. If I say that my pricing is this level, I know that if I pitch it to C-suite, I'm going to get this kind of feedback because it's human behavior. All right, so we need to have a sound understanding of human behavior. How do other people think? How do they process information? That will determine how we put out content, how we put together a proposal, how we do outreach with certain people. Because it may be with the creatives that a phone call is nice, but it's not a starting point. They want to see something more visual because they're creative people. So they may want to see some nice marketing collateral. They want to go to a website that's highly converting and engaging and give them information that they need. Same for introverts. They don't particularly want to deal with people right now. They want to go do their research online and then speak with someone. So how does that look? What is that human behavior? And it will be different than for left-brain people. Left-brain people want data, lots of data, a lot of information. Right-brain people might want information, but they want it in a visual way. Extroverted people want to meet face-to-face. Introverted people are happy to have a conversation via email or a phone call. So if we understand human behavior, we will understand how to do outreach to each persona. And guys, we have spoken about the buyer persona. I think it was in session 2. So you need to refer back to that session to understand what is your buyer persona, because again, that will determine the kind of content that you put out and how it will convert. Mind feed. I cannot say this enough. And if you've been receiving my weekly emails, you'll see that I always include some form of motivation. And the motivation really is there for mind feed, isn't it? Now, how you do your mind feed is entirely up to you, whether you listen to podcasts on a daily basis, whether you read books, whether you read blogs, whether you watch YouTube videos, whether you do online courses like this one. You need to do mind feed. You need to expand your space in your mind. We need to be more involved with what's happening in the business world. We need to understand trends. We need to know where things are going so that we understand whether our business is on the right path, whether we are gearing ourselves for success, whether we are preparing our business to be future-proofed. So mind feed is more than just consuming information. It's things that you can implement in your business. It's understanding where you're going with your business. Where's the consumer's mind going? How are they consuming information? We all know blogs up to this point were great in converting. Blogs are still relevant, but what's even more pertinent now are videos. And stats show that videos are more converting than reading material. So where are you going with your marketing collateral? Mind feed. It's so important to keep on expanding your mind and that of your prospective clients and your team. Prospecting is very important, and how we prospect is also very important. Prospecting can take many shapes and forms. So it could be email marketing, it could be outreach on a social media platform, it could be phone calls, it could be the way that you put together your proposal, it could be networking, business meetings. How you prospect is very important. So you might meet someone at a networking event that could become a warm lead and then a hot lead and then eventually a paying client. You could meet someone at a networking event that will introduce you to someone who could be either a mentor for you or a prospective client. So prospecting is important. Again, guys, I don't want you to think one-dimensional. I don't want you to think just black and white. The world isn't built that way. The world is gray. The world is 4-dimensional. In fact, 8-dimensional, but we won't go into that right now. All right, so the way that you prospect is important. The way that you view prospecting is important. But I want you to understand, and I want you to write this down. It needs to be a daily activity. Are you writing this down? Prospecting is a daily activity, and whatever that looks like for you. I said earlier, if it's 20 outreach emails, if it's 10 phone calls, if it's 20 quality LinkedIn connections every day, we need to do outreach. We need to prospect because we need to keep our sales pipeline filled. Again, if we have 3 clients in the book or 5 clients and all 5 cancel or 3 cancel, what happens then? Then you're going to start panicking, and you don't want to be in that space because you don't think clearly. So make sure that your sales pipeline is always filled. Make sure that you do prospecting every single day. And if you're a workaholic, you'll do prospect on a Saturday and a Sunday. All right. Another successful thing that a salesperson would do is to have planned sales meetings. And yes, you obviously need to plan your meetings for the week. But what I mean in this particular point is, what is your agenda for that meeting? So you're going to go in. You know that you're going to speak to this prospect. You have allocated 30 minutes. You're going to go through your proposal and you're going to speak business with this person. What is your desired outcome? So going into the meeting, you need to have background information on the prospect that you're meeting with. You need to understand where their mind space is currently. You need to have an agenda to work according to, so I'm an R in the 30 minutes that you have. So make the 30 minutes count. And then what is your desired outcome after that sales meeting? You need to listen effectively. And, guys, I know we live in a society where we are programmed to listen to answer. Don't do that. Do not listen to answer. Listen to hear and to process, but also listen to what is not being said in the conversation. Because people will speak and they'll fluff around certain things. They won't get to the point. But if you read between the lines, they gave you more information than saying the actual words. So we want you to listen effectively. We want you to hear what they're saying and to process the information, but don't listen to answer. So yeah, maybe is a key tip for you, and you write this down. When you're in a sales meeting and you let the prospect speak, let them ask their questions, let them talk. Make a note if you need to. On the note, write a word or two and write an exclamation mark. The exclamation mark is a referral for you or a reference for you for later to go back on, to go and do your homework or research, or to come back to the prospect on. If there's a question, write down the word and a question mark next to it so that you know it's a question the prospects had. You don't want to interrupt their flow. Come back to that when they're done. If they have raised an objection, make an asterisk sign, so a star sign next to that. Again, do not interrupt the person that is speaking. Let them speak. They have this mind flow that they are following. Let them go through it. And once they're done speaking, you can go back to your notes and start highlighting things that you picked up from the conversation. All right, so do not listen to answer. Listen effectively. Listen, process, and in a value-add way, answer their questions and handle objections. Make your presentation unique. When you're doing your sales proposal, and you may do it in different ways. So some of you might have a Zoom meeting where you present your proposal online through live feed. You might do it in a PowerPoint presentation or in a Word document. Some of you might print something and take it to your sales meeting. However it is that you're doing it, make sure that you personalize it. Now, I know back in the day, and I'm referring back to my photocopier sales days, when I did proposals, I would always do a little bit of extra work on each proposal, and I would include elements of the client's business on the front page of the proposal. I would include things like their logo, their slogan, maybe a little more detail about the person the presentation is for. I would go the extra mile on my presentations, and 9 times out of 10, I would get the deal. All right, so the same thing here. I want you to take extra time when you put that proposal together and show the prospect that you've done a little bit of research, that you've taken time, that you have taken their concerns and their objections and their pains to heart, that you understand that what they're going through and you have a working solution for them. Don't be part of the sea of sameness. Don't just blah out a proposal or a presentation. Show the person that you've done research, that you've gone and done homework, and that you have really taken time to make this proposal unique for them. Okay, so here is your sales strategy template. So you probably want to be taking notes. Before we get to the section, guys, in the comment section, let me know your thoughts on your proposal. So let me know in the comment section how you go about preparing your proposals, if you do it in a unique fashion, if you're using PowerPoint or Word, and whether you're just using a template and changing the client's name and then sending it out. So in the comment section right now, let me know what you're doing in your business when it comes to proposals. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and maybe the rest of us can learn something from the way that you're doing things. So please, in the comment section, let us know. Okay, now you're going to go through your sales strategy template. You probably want to be making quite a few notes here. Now, the first thing that you want to address is the acronym SMART, which means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. What that means is that you're offering a specific proposal, a specific solution to a pain, that you can measure the outcome of this solution that you're offering. So, for instance, you could have case studies that you would share with the person to show how other people have applied your solution and the successes that they have achieved. That your sales goals are attainable. So yeah, you want to make sure that you set out sales goals that you can achieve. So don't be unrealistic. I want you to be realistic in the notion that if you're going to have a sales plan and you say, right, I want to close 3 new clients in the next quarter, that it is achievable. Instead of saying, I'm going to close 30 new clients in the next quarter, and know that you're never going to achieve that. So don't set yourselves up for failure. Make it attainable, make it realistic. And timely means give yourself enough of a milestone, enough time to achieve these goals. All right, so you have to absolutely work smartly when you're doing this. And make sure that how you put together your sales plan is absolutely measurable. That if you say, yes, I'm going to close 3 new clients in the next quarter, which essentially means 1 new client a month, I don't think that's too hard to achieve, is what is your plan to do that? What kind of content are you going to put out? Which one of your services are you going to offer? Because maybe you have a myriad of services, let's focus on one. Or perhaps you've got more than one product. Which product are you going to do this with? Because again, and we've spoken of this so many times before, do not fling mud at the wall and hope that something sticks, because that doesn't work. So you need to have something that you can work according to every day and step by step, bite by bite, achieve that sales goal. Please do not set unrealistic sales goals. So if you can absolutely close 3 clients in 1 month, awesome. Then set that goal. And once you've achieved it, then say, I'm going to close 4 in the following month, and follow your formula, because the formula is working, then don't change it. You need to know your buyer persona. I'm going to hammer on and on about this one, because if you ask me to build a digital marketing plan for you, if you ask me to assist you with a sales strategy, I'm going to bring it back to this point. And the point is, who's your buyer persona? Who are you creating content for? Who is your solution for? Whose pain are you solving? If you don't know who your buyer persona is, and another term is client avatar, and another term is your target market, and another term is ideal client, if you don't know who these people are, how are you ever going to achieve success? So you absolutely need to know who you're speaking to. Because if you're speaking to a Susan, then you know that you need to find multiple Susans out there that fit that criteria. It's just going to make your life so much easier. So take the time and go and discover who your buyer persona is. If it takes you a week, take the week. Don't beat yourself up because you're not doing anything else. Trust me, if you know who your buyer persona is, everything else will flow. And then that week will have been the most valuable time that you spent on your business, understanding who your business is for. The next thing is, what is your value proposition? And that is something that we discussed last week as well, is your unique selling proposition or your value proposition. So what is it that sets you apart from your competitor or your competitors? Maybe there's more than one competitor in your industry. All right, so what sets you apart? What value do you bring? Then your sales collateral. So you need to have effective and highly converting sales collateral. And what that looks like for you, well, that's completely up to your business. But I would say things like your website, that's sales collateral. And in fact, that's a very important part of your sales process and your sales strategy, is to have a highly converting website. It could be your email marketing, your templates. So what does that look like? It could be your proposal or your presentation. What does that look like? It could be the way that you send out your emails, your email signature. All of these things are sales collateral. How does it look like for you? So you need to know in your industry, what do you need to put together that will work? Is it ebooks? Is it email marketing? Would it be outreach on LinkedIn? But all of this forms part of your sales collateral. You also need to know when to hire a salesperson. And for some of you, it might not be relevant right now to have a salesperson, but I want you to work in such a way as if you're going to employ a salesperson in the next year. So you need to approach your sales in a manner that you can build a formula, and in the back of your mind know that in 6 months' time or in a year's time, you're going to hand over this process to someone else. It could be something that your business needs or not. Whether it is, they say if the shoe fits, wear it. So if it's relevant to your business, yes, then let's look at how and when we're going to hire a salesperson. When is a salesperson needed? Is it in your particular business when you're closing so many deals that you're dropping the ball in all the other departments, that your touch in other departments is being lost? Is it that you've reached a point where you need to do on the road sales and you cannot do that because your time and attention is required in other parts of the business, so you need to get someone on the road to go and represent the brand? If it's an online thing and you want to do outreach to another country, that you may want to get a sales assistant to manage that part of the sales pipeline for you. So you may outsource the top part of the sales pipeline, and then you come in at the end where you close the deal and you onboard the client. So you need to really have a sound understanding of how your business works and where the sales strategy fits in, and if yes or no, that you need a salesperson at some point, or whether that's all you, and whether you can manage to do everything, including sales and operations and everything else, future vision for the business, and so forth. You need to establish benchmarks. So you need to know when it comes to your sales, and you're going to look at history. So you're going to go back to old invoices and old quotes and see data. In this month, let's say in January, on average, we put out 10 quotes, and on average, we close 2 deals. So you need to go back and look at the data and then apply benchmarks according to the data. Obviously, things will change, and I would also go and do research on the industry. What is the industry standard with regards to sales, and formulate your benchmark from there. And your benchmark, again, will be pertinent to your business. So it could be that you have long sales cycles and you only close clients every 12 months. So you have an onboarding process that is a little bit different to other businesses. So you need to set benchmarks, milestones. In order for me to close 10 clients every single month, I need to have sent out, let's say, 100 proposals, because we know sales lies in the numbers. So the more outreach you do, the more prospecting you do, the easier it is, and I say easier it is, than to close a deal. So if you're going to do outreach to 150 people and then whittle down to 75 who become warm leads, who then whittle down to 25 who you've quoted, and then whittle that down to 2 that you can close. So what are the benchmarks? What do you need to work towards to know that you're setting yourself up for sales success? The data will help you with that, and your insights and your industry knowledge. Then what kind of lead generation methods are you going to use? So what kind of outreach are you going to do in order to generate leads? Are you going to, one, outsource that function, or are you going to do it in-house? Are you going to use a social media platform like LinkedIn for that? Are you going to do email marketing and build up your marketing list? Will you be doing free consultations? How does your outreach look? Will you be sharing online videos to educate your prospects? Will you give them software to trial? Whatever it looks like in your industry, you need to understand what does that outreach look like so that you can build your marketing campaign around that. Because it's not a silo, guys. Marketing's not here and sales over here. No, we work together. So instead of here and here, it's there. So your sales pipeline is marketing that comes down into the sales part. All right. So the two divisions do not work separately. They need to work hand in hand. So your lead generation starts off with a great marketing strategy. And from there, it's going to shift into the sales part. Are you still with me? So guys, in the comments section, let me know, out of these pointers that you see right now, which ones are you currently applying? Which ones have jumped out at you and said, wow, I've actually never considered that, but I'm going to implement it going forward. So in the comments section, let me know, out of these pointers right here, which ones will work for you immediately that you really want to start implementing, because you know you're going to get results once you start doing that. A few more tips, and we have spoken about the data. So data is so important. You need to track the data. And when I mean track the data, it's everything from, let's say, your email marketing list. How many names you have there? Have you segmented it? How many times a week do you send out the email? what are the follow-up emails from that? Who opens the email? What are the number of people that open the email? What are the number of people that take the next step and click on the link? If it's people that have been sent to the website, how long do they spend time on your website? From the website, do they jump off or do they complete a form? Do they download an ebook? From there, do they book a consultation? Then from that, how many people have you set up a sales meeting with? Are the sales meetings, what are the number of people that you send a proposal to? Out of the number of proposals, how many deals are you closing? So we need to absolutely keep track of the data. And we spoke last week about implementing CRM, and this is exactly where your CRM system comes in, is to help you keep track of that. So you don't have to remember or refer back to your diary or to your desk pad. The CRM will tell you exactly the amount of outreach that you've done, the leads that have come in, the leads that are in the have moved to the warm section, then to the hot section, and how many of the leads have closed, and the amount of money that they spent to view, which ones you've cross-sold and upsold. Data, guys, data, so important. All right, the next part of your sales strategy is to qualify the leads and to ask for the close. Now, you will know how to qualify those leads because you'll know if it's people that's stringing you along or people that are serious about doing business with you. I always say, if you're not sure, ask. That you can say, guys, are we going to be doing business or not? Because if we're not, then I'm going to close off this part of our conversation for now, and I'm going to reach out to you in 3 months' time. I don't want to, and I normally say I don't want to keep on bugging you. So let's set a time and date that we know that you'll be ready to chat, and then we can pick things up again. Close the deal, ask for the sale. We're going to go through pointers now on how to do that, but ultimately, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I use the example of if today is 2 weeks after you send out your proposal and you still haven't followed up, but your competitor has followed up today and you have been thinking about and on, should I not? Man, they followed up and the client said, cool, let's do business. And the only reason for it is because they followed up and you didn't. All right, so you need to follow up. You need to ask for the sale. Do not be afraid to close the deal. You've done so much work until this point. You've applied so much energy. Close the deal. Manage objections. I like to say that you need to build objection management collateral, whether it's an infographic, whether it's a download on the back end of your website, whatever the case is, make sure that you can manage objections, preferably before they arise. But if the objection has been raised, then deal with it. Deal with it right there and then. And, if in a sales meeting an objection comes up, ask the prospect, are there any other objections that you have that will prevent us from doing business? So, are there any other things that is a blocker that we cannot close the deal right now? And trust me, that's effective. It works. Try it. All right, finalize the deal and then do your after sales. So the after sales to me is very important. Finalizing the deal is, signing the paperwork and bringing all the parts together, managing the last few objections, and onboarding the client. The after sales is very important. Do not neglect this part. This is the part where you have given the client so much attention and you've driven so much value up until the point of closing the deal. You don't want to go cold. You don't want for them to feel, well, now the deal's been closed, I didn't hear from so-and-so. You want to continue that relationship. So you want to continue driving value. You want to make it as effective and as efficient for them as possible to use your product, your service. You want to continue the hand-holding so that they become brand ambassadors for you and they start referring other people to you because you have made the whole process so easy and so streamlined. Your after-sales service is a very, very vital part of your sales process. Do not neglect it. Now, we're not going to be talking about cold calling. We're going to be talking about sales calls. And sales calls are important because at some point, guys, you cannot keep on doing things online and keep on sending out emails and, sending out a message on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Man, at some point, you're going to have to pick up the phone. And people are asking for it. They're demanding it. They want that human touch. Yes, we want things automated. We want to have the opportunity to do our own online research. But there comes a point where I want to speak to a person. I want to know who's that person behind the brand, behind the business. Because we're going to forge a relationship. I want to know more about you. Why, and this is for me particularly, why you started the business. What is your vision? That we can see whether our visions align and whether I can support you and you can support me. So the human touch is so important. So let's get into it. Let's talk about those sales calls, shall we? Now, here's a quick 7 tips on how to perfect, and I say perfect, your sales call. 1, diarize it. And by this, I mean book it in your diary. Monday mornings between 9 and 10 is time for you to do your sales calls. You do 10 of them. Once you're done your 10, you're done. All right. Tuesdays, you know that afternoons are best. So between 4 and 5 are the best times to do sales calls. Book it in your diary. Wednesday mornings, or rather, I would say early afternoon, between 12 and 1 are a good time to do sales calls. Thursdays, morning or afternoon, and Fridays, definitely mornings, because no one does business on a Friday afternoon. And so I've discovered sometimes I'm the only person working. So mote it be. You will discover in your industry what the trends are. I would say, though, Monday mornings, Tuesday afternoons, Wednesdays early afternoon, Thursday mornings or afternoon, and Friday mornings. Book it in your diary. Set a timer. Put a reminder on your phone. Set an alarm on your phone. Do what you need to do, but do those sales calls. Book it. Book the time with yourself. So don't book other team meetings, other client meetings, or anything else in that time. That is the time that you do your sales call. Why is this important? You need to book it because you need to have your mind space right. And if you know, okay, for the next hour, I'm doing sales calls, you need to get your mind in a place where your intention is right. You're going to go and close those deals. You want to get the desired outcomes that you set out to achieve. So book it. All right. Have a great introduction. And really what that means is be clear on the phone, speak clearly, introduce yourself, your name, your company, and give the reason for your call. Don't, in the first 30 seconds, let the person ask, well, why are you calling? What's the point of this phone call? If your intention is to set up an appointment, then make sure that that phone call ends after 60 seconds or a minute and a half and get the appointment. Confirm the contact details. So if you're meeting in person, confirm where you're meeting in person. Is it at the client's office? Is it at a coffee shop? Is it at a co-working space, boardroom? Whatever it is, confirm the details. If it's online, confirm the email address. Once you put the phone down, make sure that you have booked to send out a reminder. So if the meeting's only taking place in a month's time or in 2 weeks' time, that you send out a reminder 2 or 3 days before the time to remind the prospect about the sales meeting. And also send them an agenda of what's going to take place in the meeting so they can prepare as well. And then measure your success. So know that if your sales meetings are there to get a deal, then measure it. Out of every 10 sales meetings that I have, I close 2 deals. Or out of every 10 sales meetings that I have, I can prepare 8 sales proposals, and out of the 8 proposals, I close 3 deals. Okay, so measure that. All right, then how to leave an effective voicemail. So it may be, yes, you've now diarized the time to do your sales calls, but you're not going to get hold of everyone because they might be in sales meetings, they could be on leave or not in the office, so you need to leave a voicemail. Leave the voicemail. Guys, do not be scared to do that. But if you need to, write down a script, but don't rehearse the script too much because you want to sound natural. And this is where you have the LinkedIn profile in front of you with the face. So you leave a message as if you're speaking to a friend and you want your friend to call you back. Okay. Make sure that what you leave is not more than 2 paragraphs. So when you write it down, it shouldn't be more than 2 paragraphs. Have the emphasis on the right words. So make sure that your tone is right. State the reason for your call again. So be clear about that. Ask them to call you back. Give them clear instruction how to get hold of you, where to call you back, or to email you. But make sure that you state that in your voicemail message. Repeat important information. Hi, this is Karen. I am of XYZ company. I'm calling you for this reason. It is Wednesday at 12 o'clock that I'm leaving this message. If I don't hear back from you, I'm going to phone you back again tomorrow morning, Thursday at 9. Okay. If you have asked the prospect to call you back and you haven't left instruction that you're going to follow up with them, give them time to follow up with you. All right, so don't leave a message now at 1 o'clock and then at 3 minutes past 1, phone again and say, hey, why haven't you called me back? All right, so give enough time for them to call you back, and again, measure your success. Guys, data is so important to help you to be effective in sales and to achieve your success. Then, how to send a winning follow-up sales email. So you have done your sales meeting, you've given the sales proposal, and now you want to send a follow-up sales email. Make sure that your subject line is engaging and catchy. So don't state in the subject line, oi, or follow-up sales meeting, or whatever, some random thing. You need to make sure that when this prospect gets your email, that they go, oh, yes, and they open the email because they remember you very quickly. They can refer back to the sales meeting. They know why you're emailing them, and they open up the email. All right, so it may be that 2 weeks have passed and a lot of time and things happen in 2 weeks and they've forgotten. They may have forgotten to come back to you, or they've just been so busy with things that they haven't got back to you, but you need to be memorable. Don't overdo your email. So don't have all, I almost want to say these pretty things in your email. Make it clear, 6 lines max, the reason for the follow-up, a reminder on the conversation that you had. If you want to include case studies as another selling point for the prospect, recap any questions that may have arisen in the sales meeting, and spell out the next step. So, hi, Mr. Prospect, we met 2 weeks ago. We discussed the following solution for your problem. I've included a case study of a similar company that experienced your problem and the success they achieved when applying our product or our service. And I want us to meet again to handle any more objections that you may have. As an example, I'm sending this email and I'm going to phone you within the next 24 hours to book another session, as an example. All right, and then again, measure your success on that one. Whatever that success may be, if it's a response on your email, if it's winning the deal, whatever the case is, you need to keep track of the data. All right, your deal closing techniques. Very few points here, very quick. And, I almost want to say, if you apply one of these things, it's going to help you to close the deal. Because I know a lot of you are very shy when it comes to doing sales, and you might be great speaking about your product or your service, which is good, but you might be a little bit shy in taking the next step. So I want you to look at these 5 points and see which of these 5 you can apply. And in fact, in the comments section, let me know if at the moment you're applying any of these 5 points. So the first one in closing the deal is laying the foundation. And really what that means is knowing who your prospect is, so who your buyer persona is, applying the right solution to their problem, and making sure that you have your sales collateral in place. So if it's your case studies, if it's a highly converting website, you're laying the foundation. If you're sending them regular blogs that they may find a value for themselves or in their business, how are you laying the foundation to make sure that they keep on coming back to you, establishing yourself as an authority? Then you need to qualify the prospect. So again, don't allow prospects to give you the runaround. You need to call it. At some point, you need to say, right, I'm disqualifying this lead. It's not going to happen. That's also going to help narrow down in closing the deal with quality people who you really want in your business. You need to establish a deadline. So if you have presented a prospect with a proposal and you know that their sales cycle is not long, so they don't have to wait 6 months for a contract to come to an end or for the budget to kick in, i.e. they can do business now, then set a deadline for yourself and for the client and say, I am going to get back to you within a week's time. That will give you sufficient time to go through my proposal, do your research, and go do your homework on me and my business. I'm going to phone you back in a week's time. Let's talk business. Let's sign the paperwork. Let's get you onboarded. And yes, be that brazen. Threaten a price increase. So guys, here's a fine line, and I don't want you to use threatening tactics, but if you are facing a price increase, it's a great way to get the prospect to make a decision. So let's say you have done a proposal in December, and you know in your business every February and March you do have a price increase. Then tell them, guys, we are having a price increase in February or in March, and I want you to enjoy this pricing. So in order for me to do it, I need you to close the deal now. I need you to sign the paperwork now. Otherwise, I'm going to have to give you the increased prices going forward. And then the last point in helping you close that deal is to discuss with them the consequences of sitting on a sale. So by this, I mean, Mr. Prospect, if you don't make a decision now, how much is that going to cost your business in the long run? If I can save you so much money now going forward with my software, don't you think it'll be a wise decision to sign me up now so that we can start implementing the system and rolling it out for you to see savings in 6 months' time, for you to feel it in your bottom line, in your pocket in 6 months' time? All right, so discuss what that means relevant to your industry and what you're offering the prospect, what it would look like if they don't make a decision right now. Guys, this has been such an awesome session. I'm buzzing. I love sales, and I really hope that with this session you have been able to go and apply a checklist, steps, a process, a formula going forward to help you with your sales success. So if you didn't have a sales plan right now, that going forward you do, so that you know that you need to book your prospecting daily, that you need to do your quality outreach, that you need to keep track of your sales data, that you can do sales calls, but there needs to be a process, a formula, a mindset behind it. When you do follow-up emails, what does that look like? What is the intention? What do you want to achieve with those? When you leave a voicemail message, and you should, is will the person get back to you? And ensure that they get back to you by following the formula. So I really hope that with the steps that we've shown you, you can go out, implement it. I would love to hear your successes, so please share them with me. I want to see what you've implemented and what has worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. But right now, we're going to go over to the comment section. Let's go and chat about all these pointers. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you're currently doing in your business, what's working for you. So guys, thank you. It's been an amazing session. I will see you in the comments now, and then I'll check you live next week. Cheers.